A month after my wedding, my photographer called me in a blind panic and said, "Ma'am, I just realized something terrible. Please come right now. But don't let your husband know." What I saw made my skin crawl. Before we begin, hit the like button and comment so you don't miss future videos. Are you ready to listen to the end? Here we go. My name is Ariana Vance. If you ask anyone, they'll tell you I am the definition of perfection and good fortune. I am the sole heiress of the Vance Global Group, a real estate and investment empire whose assets are valued in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And just a month ago, I perfected my life by marrying Liam. He is a handsome, intelligent man, and he behaved absolutely flawlessly during the 2 years we dated. Our wedding was covered exclusively by several business and lifestyle magazines. Everyone, without hesitation, called us the couple of the century. However, this morning, exactly 30 days after that happy day, I found myself gripping the edge of the marble sink in my spacious bathroom, holding my breath so I wouldn't vomit. Cold water dripped slowly from my chin. I took a deep breath, staring at my reflection in the large mirror. My skin, usually rosy, healthy, now looked pale and gaunt. Dark circles were beginning to deepen under my eyes, giving me an appearance of extreme exhaustion. My head throbbed violently, as if an invisible sledgehammer were constantly striking the back of my skull. For some reason, since returning from our honeymoon, my health had deteriorated drastically. My body, normally strong enough to endure 1-2 hour back-to-back meetings, now felt as fragile as a dry twig. The bathroom door opened slowly. I glanced sideways and saw Liam enter. He was already impeccably dressed in a white dress, shirt, sleeves rolled up to his elbows. His smile was incredibly tender, and his gaze seemed filled with concern. In his hand, he held a ceramic mug from which light steam rose. "Honey, did you throw up again?" he asked in his soothing baritone voice. He set the mug on the place, vanity, walked over, and rubbed my back gently. "You're freezing, Ariana. Let's go to the doctor today, okay? I'll ask Lauren to cancel all my meetings to go with you." I forced a smile, gently shaking my head. "It's not necessary. Really, I'm just exhausted." This month, my schedule has been packed with preparations for the company anniversary gala next week. Maybe I've just been eating at odd hours and caught a chill. Liam sighed deeply. His face showed disagreement, but he held back from arguing. He picked up the ceramic mug and brought it closer to me. An intense herbal aroma, a mix of roots, dried flowers, and strange leaves, assaulted my senses. "Then, at least drink this special tea my mother prepared. She made it at dawn, on purpose, and sent a driver to bring it over because she knew her daughter-in-law wasn't feeling well," Liam coaxed with an incredibly sweet voice. "Mom says this blend is excellent for restoring vital organ function. You have to finish it while it's hot." Yeah. Hearing the name Patricia, my mother-in-law, a very devout woman with always kind words, I felt guilty for having suspected that unpleasant-tasting tisane. Patricia had always treated me like her own daughter. She often stroked my hair, prayed for me, and sent my favorite dishes to the office. "Thanks, honey. Thank your mother for me later," I said quietly. I took the mug and started sipping it slowly. The taste was the same as previous days, very bitter, astringent, and leaving a metallic aftertaste on the tip of my tongue. However, to appreciate the attention of my mother-in-law and my husband, who was watching me expectantly, I forced myself to swallow that thick, dark liquid. Good girl, Liam praised, kissing my temple affectionately. I'm stepping out for a moment to grab my phone from the dining table. Don't forget to finish the tea, okay? Yes, honey. Liam turned and left the bathroom. I remained standing, holding the mug with both hands, looking reluctantly at the dark liquid remaining inside. But when I raised my head to look again at the large mirror in front of me, I froze. The bathroom door wasn't completely closed. From the angled reflection in the mirror, I could see Liam's figure walking away down the hallway of our penthouse. He had no idea that the angle of this mirror could capture his image from behind with total clarity. Liam's pace slowed. He paused for a moment in the middle of the hallway, then turned his head back, staring intently through the crack in the bathroom door. The tender smile and expression of concern he had shown me just a moment ago vanished in seconds. My husband's face was now completely expressionless, cold and rigid. His eyes narrowed, fixing on my back through the gap. It was the look of a scavenger, predator, watching its prey slowly die. That look was so strange, so dark, and loaded with pure hatred. Not a trace remained of the love he used to profess for. My skin goosebumped instantly. A chill ran from my feet to my neck. It only lasted a second. The next, Liam turned again and continued his relaxed walk, disappearing from the mirror's reflection. I stood petrified in front of the sink. My heart beat so fast it felt like it was going to burst out of my ribs. What had I just seen? Had it just been a hallucination from exhaustion and illness? No, my gut told me it wasn't. I was completely sure of what I had just seen. That was Liam's true face. One he had never shown me in the more than 2 years we had been together. Suddenly, the nausea returned to my stomach, this time much more aggressive. I looked at the mug in my hands. A strong survival instinct in my mind screamed at me not to drink that liquid again. Without thinking twice, I carefully set the mug down. I poured the rest of the black liquid down the sink drain. Then, I rinsed it with tap water until not a trace remained. An hour later, I had finished doing my makeup at the vanity. I covered my pale skin with a thick foundation. I added pink blush to my cheeks and painted my lips a deep red. An impeccably tailored navy blue pantsuit wrapped around my body. This clothing was like armor for me. I was Ariana Vance, CEO of the Vance Global Group. I couldn't look weak or sick, no matter what was happening in this house. When I went downstairs to the first floor, Liam was sitting quietly having a black coffee at the dining table. Seeing me, he smiled warmly, kissing my forehead as if the terrifying scene in the mirror had never happened. Be careful on the road, sweetheart. If you don't feel well at the office, come straight home. Call me, he said tenderly. Sure, honey. I'm heading out now, I replied, returning a fake smile. I rehearsed to look as natural as possible. As soon as I got into my black Range Rover, I leaned my back against the soft leather seat and sighed deeply. Sam, my personal driver, started the car, leaving the courtyard of our luxurious Manhattan home. My phone vibrated in my Savant's purse. An incoming call from Lauren, my personal assistant, who had been working with me for the last 5 years. Lauren was a sharp, efficient girl of few words, whom I could trust blindly with anything. Good morning, Miss Vance, Lauren greeted as soon as I answered, her tone quick and efficient as always. I'm calling to remind you of your schedule today. At 9 a.m., you have a meeting with the finance department to finalize the annual report. At 11 a.m., fitting for the company gala dress. And at 1 p.m., Mr. Arthur has requested an urgent meeting to discuss some documents he needs you to sign ASAP. Arthur? I furrowed my brow. Arthur was the family's trusted lawyer. He had worked for us since my late father was alive. He was a person of total trust in Pleasants, the company. What documents need signing so urgently, Lauren? Wasn't the review of the new client contract scheduled for next week? He said they were internal documents, ma'am, related to the administration and tax efficiency of the company before the gala next week. He says they need your approval today. All right, then clear my schedule at 1 for Arthur. And Lauren, please prepare a strong double espresso on my desk for when I arrive. Understood? Understood, Miss Vance. Excuse me, are you feeling better today? Your voice still sounds a bit hoarse. I'm fine, Lauren. Don't worry. Thanks. I ended the call. My mind was a whirlwind between the headache that wouldn't cease, Liam's terrifying look in the mirror, and now Arthur's urgent documents. I had a bad feeling. My business instinct, honed over years, seemed to be sounding an alarm telling me that something very bad was looming over me. The car turned slowly to enter the underground parking of Vance Tower in Midtown. This imposing glass skyscraper was proof of my father's sweat and hard work. Now under my total control, I stepped out of the car chin up, greeting several employees who nodded respectfully in the lobby. When the executive elevator doors opened on the top floor, I was greeted by a tight hug. Ariana. Oh my God. You finally made it to the office. It was Brittany Miller, my best friend since college, whom I had entrusted with the prestigious position of marketing director at my company. She looked me up and down with a very convincing expression of concern. You still look pale, girl. Liam called me last night asking me to ensure your workload wasn't too heavy today. He's such an attentive husband and crazy about you, commented Brittany as she took my arm, guiding me toward my office. You really need to get enough rest. If something happened to you, who would lead the big gala next week? You're the main star. I stared at Brittany. Her smile was radiant, but for some reason, for the first time in our more than 10 years of friendship, her sweet words sounded fake and strange to my ears. Suddenly, everything seemed like a perfectly orchestrated theater script. I'm fine, Britt. Just a little dizzy, I replied calmly as I sat in my executive chair, looking at my desk full of folders and documents. Glad to hear it. Then remember, don't overexert yourself. I'm heading back to my office. Okay? She said, waving goodbye before closing the double doors of my office. My office returned to silence. I stared into the void, contemplating the dense sprawl of New York City from the glass wall behind my desk. My bad feeling worsened. There was a crack in the golden frame of my life that I had hitherto considered perfect, but I still didn't know where that crack was coming from. Until exactly 10 a.m., my personal cell phone sitting on the table rang loudly. It wasn't a number from the board of directors, nor a client, nor Liam. The screen showed a contact named Felix Casey, photographer. I answered without any premonition. Hi, Felix. Weird for you to call at this hour. Is there a problem with printing the photo album? On the other end of the line, I heard Felix's agitated, irregular breathing. His voice trembled, sounding gripped by panic and fear. Miss Vance. No, he whispered hoarsely, as if afraid someone else would hear our conversation. I Just realized something terrible in the wedding files. I frowned, leaning forward. Something terrible? What do you mean? If there's an angle or lighting you aren't convinced by, you can edit it like always. No, it's not a matter of editing, ma'am. Felix interrupted me with a choppy, desperate tone. It's about your husband. Please, ma'am, please come to desperate tone. My studio right now. My heart seemed to stop for an instant hearing him mention Liam. I'll show you. Everything in person. But I beg you to come alone. In secret. And don't let Mr. Liam know you've come to see me. A cold sweat began to run down the back of my neck. Liam's icy gaze in the mirror that morning returned to my mind like a lightning bolt, like a piece of a puzzle beginning to fit. I'm on my way right now. I responded briefly with a firm tone and hung up immediately. That morning, as I grabbed my purse and hurriedly left my office, I never imagined that my steps would change my life forever. Those steps were slowly dragging me toward a hell that apparently had been perfectly designed by the Paltine, people I trusted most in this world. I left my office in a rush. At reception, Lauren stood up from her chair, seeing me pass with a tense face. Miss Vance, the meeting with the finance department starts in 10 minutes. Do you need me to prepare anything? She asked with her usual efficiency. Cancel it, Lauren. I cut her off without looking back, continuing toward the hallway. Or ask Brittany to lead the meeting in my place. I have an urgent matter outside the office. Understood, ma'am. Do you need me to call Sam to prepare the car in the lobby? Not necessary. I'll drive myself. Let no one disturb me, including calls from my husband. Tell him I'm in the middle of a closed-door meeting and have my phone off. Understood, Miss Vance. Leaving Lauren with an expression of slight confusion, I continued toward the Blanc executive elevator. My heart was beating wildly, hitting my ribs hard for years. At the helm of Vance Global Group, I had faced various critical crises, from bankruptcy threats and large-scale partner betrayals to sabotage of multi-million-dollar bids, but I had never felt so nervous. The fear gripping my chest felt very personal and primal. In the underground garage, I went directly to my black Range Rover, a car I rarely used. I started the engine, stepped on the accelerator, and shot out of Vance Tower. The streets of Manhattan were quite congested at that hour, and the pleasant 7 air outside felt muggy and hot. However, inside the cold car, my mind wandered, far beyond the traffic jam. What was going on with Liam? What had Felix really found in my wedding photos? Why did a professional photographer like Felix sound so terrified that his voice shook on the phone? Those questions swirled in my head like a tangled tape, mixed with the stabbing pain returning to attack my temples. My body felt exhausted. The nausea in my stomach persisted, but the adrenaline pumping through my veins forced me to stay awake and alert. I deliberately took an indirect route through side streets in Chelsea and the Village to ensure no car was following me. Felix's request that I come in secret and without telling Liam unsettled me deeply. Until now, Liam had always known where I was. He called me 3 times a day to see how I was, to remind me to eat attention that until now I had considered the form of extraordinary love. Suddenly, it felt like the strict surveillance of a jailer suffocating me. About 40 minutes later, I parked in front of a 2-story building in a fairly quiet area of Williamsburg, Brooklyn. The sign that read Clearlight Studio looked somewhat dusty on the outside. This was Felix Casey's independent studio. He was a young, talented photographer whose works always had an elegant, sharp, and dramatic air. That was the main reason I hired him exclusively, with a very high payment To document my entire wedding a month ago, I put on large black sunglasses and a black face mask before getting out of the car, covering my face completely. As soon as I pushed open the glass door of the studio, the jingling of a small bell above the door broke the silence. The ground floor seemed deserted and a bit messy. Various photography accessories, light stands, reflectors, and rolls of backdrops were scattered in the corners. There was no assistant or receptionist to receive me. The studio seemed closed to the public. "Felix?" I called almost in a whisper, taking off my sunglasses. From the wooden staircase leading to the second floor, hurried footsteps were heard. Felix appeared looking very disheveled. His hair was messy, his dark circles were very deep, as if he hadn't slept in days, and his flannel shirt was wrinkled. Seeing me, he didn't even greet me. He walked quickly past me and peeked paranoidally out the studio's glass window to ensure there was no one or any suspicious car outside. Then he locked the main door with 2 turns of the Desus key and lowered the blinds. "Thank God you came alone," said Felix breathlessly. He turned toward me, his hands trembling slightly. "Let's go up, ma'am, to my editing room. We can't talk here." I stared at him. "Tell me right now, Felix, what is going on? Why are you behaving like a fugitive chased by a hitman?" Felix swallowed hard. His Adam's apple bobbed up and down. "You wouldn't believe me if I just told you with words. This is too insane, Miss Vance. You have to see to it with your own eyes. Come on. Please." Without further objections, I followed Felix up the stairs to the second floor. The room upstairs was smaller and very dark, lit only by the glow from 2 enormous monitors on his work desk. The air conditioning was set so low that the cold chilled to the bone, in contrast to the cold sweat beading on Felix's forehead. Felix pulled up a swivel chair and invited me to sit. "Please, ma'am." I sat upright in front of the 2 monitors. On the left screen, thousands of raw, unsorted photo files were visible. On the right was an extremely high-resolution photo showing me. It was a photo of my wedding reception in a ballroom of a 5-star New York hotel a month ago. In the photo, I had my back to the camera, interacting with some important guests. I was wearing a wedding dress with a long train encrusted with Swarovski crystals. About 15 feet in front of me, there was a large antique mirror with a carved, gilded frame leaning against the wall. The mirror was a luxurious accessory that the decorator had placed on purpose in the VIP area. The photo, aesthetically, was beautiful. The lighting was perfect, capturing the majestic aura of the party and my dress. "It's a very beautiful photo, Felix. What is the problem? Why did you have to make me cancel my schedule just to see this?" I asked impatiently, feeling the process headache return to throb. "This photo was taken unintentionally, ma'am." Felix's voice sounded hoarse and deep beside me. At that moment, I was testing a new telephoto lens to find the best light focus in the VIP area, which was somewhat dim. My main target was your back and the wedding dress. But this lens has incredibly capture capacity. It caught a detail in a corner of the room that was very far behind you, which happened to be reflected right in the antique mirror in front of you. Felix moved the mouse cursor, clicked on the part of the mirror inside the plus photo, and zoomed in. He enlarged the image several times without it losing resolution. 1 click. The image enlarged sharply, showing the VIP guest tables in the semi-darkness in the distance. 2 clicks. The image got closer. I began to recognize some silhouettes of people standing in the darkest corner of the room. far from the bustle of the party and the main tables. 3 clicks. A small area hidden by a large column now appeared clearly reflected in the mirror. My breath hitched in my throat. My eyes opened wide as if refusing to, I believe the signal my optic nerves were sending to my brain. In that corner, completely hidden from the view of all guests, the figure of my husband, Liam, was clearly reflected. He was in profile, but it wasn't his presence there that made my world stop. Liam's right hand, the same hand that hours before had placed a diamond ring on my ring finger and pronounced sacred vows before the officiant, was now firmly holding the hand of a woman. They weren't simply holding hands as friends or partners. Their fingers were intertwined in an intimate and passionate way. Liam's face was tilted toward the bride woman, looking at her with devotion, love, and burning passion. A sincere look that not even I had ever seen. When he looked at me, Who is that woman? My voice trembled. My throat felt suddenly dry as a desert. Look closely at her face, ma'am, said Felix beside me. His voice held a tone of compassion and deep sadness. Felix moved the cursor up a bit, enlarging the face of the woman smiling back at Liam. The incredible resolution of the camera made her facial features perfectly sharp. Despite being taken from a mirror reflection quite far away, the woman wore a dark maroon evening gown, very simply cut, as if designed on purpose not to stand out. She had short, shoulder-length hair, wore thin-rimmed glasses, and heavy makeup. I recognized that face. I recognized it very well. This is Sarah, right? I murmured, feeling overwhelming confusion. She was the external financial advisor my company had just hired 2 months ago on the special recommendation of Brittany, my best friend. Brittany said Sarah was top of her class at a prestigious university in Singapore and could help organize my personal investment portfolio. Why? Why is my husband holding hands with my financial advisor on my wedding day? Since when do they know each other? The puzzle pieces spun chaotically in my mind. I felt like my head was going to explode. Miss Vance. Felix called me softly, snapping me out of my murmurs. Look at the small mole below her left ear, and the structure of her jaw and the shape of her eyes. Erase the short hair and heavy makeup from your memory. I leaned forward, bringing my face within inches of the dazzling monitor. I observed the features of the woman named Sarah with utmost attention, following Felix's instructions. The eyes that narrowed slightly when smiling, the characteristic aquiline nose shape. And indeed, there was a small faded below her left ear, a very specific physical trait. Suddenly, a terrifying cold froze my blood. My stomach twisted. My nausea reached its peak. The air seemed to disappear from the studio, leaving me breathless. That wasn't Sarah. Or, to be more precise, Sarah was a false identity. The face reflected in the mirror was Lana's. Lana was a distant relative of Liam's on his mother's side. I had met her a couple of times at family dinners early in my courtship with Liam. But 3 years ago, Liam arrived at my apartment. Soaked and with eyes full of tears, he brought the tragic news that Lana had died, burned in a multi-car accident on a highway near Mexico City. Liam seemed devastated at the time. As his girlfriend, I accompanied him during his long mourning. It was said that Lana's car had been reduced to ashes, and, due to complex regulations, her funeral was held privately abroad. Liam even showed me a copy of Lana's death certificate in Spanish with official seals. But now, what was I seeing? The woman who was supposed to be ashes and buried underground in Mexico 3 years ago was standing alive at my wedding reception. Not only was she alive, but she had changed her appearance. Posed as Sarah, infiltrated the finance department of my company on the direct recommendation of my best friend Brittany, and was now holding hands full of love with my husband, the day I swore to love him for life. This can't be. Holding my breath, I brought my trembling hands to my mouth, trying to suppress a scream of horror, struggling to get out of my chest. Lana is dead, Felix. 3 years ago. I saw her death certificate from the competent authorities. The dead don't hold hands with another person's husband while smiling at a reception. Ma'am, said Felix sadly, turning his chair to look directly at me. And what's more insane, this photo is nothing. I found many other irregularities in the ambient audio files that have been hidden in my camera storage. That's why I was so scared, ma'am. I feared you were part of them. But after seeing your reaction, now I know you knew nothing. You are being deceived very, very thoroughly. I looked away from the monitor, leaning back weakly in the chair, staring blankly at the wooden table. All the strange pieces of the last month began to forcibly fit into a complete, brutal, and terrifying picture. Liam's cold, deadly look in the bathroom mirror reflection that morning. The unexpected recommendation and exaggerated praise from Brittany for me to hire Sarah, giving her access to my financial data. My constant headache, and the thick herbal tea my mother-in-law Patricia forced me to drink every night. And the sudden, unusual call from my trusted lawyer, Arthur, urging me to sign internal company documents that very afternoon. A week before the big company gala, my world crumbled in that instant. The foundations of the life I had built with so much effort for years turned to dust. The husband I loved so much, the friend I considered a sister, the mother-in-law I respected like an angel, and the lawyer I trusted to protect my assets, all turned out to be wolves in sheep's clothing skinning me alive. They had planned it all meticulously, systematically, and ruthlessly. This luxurious wedding a month ago wasn't about love or a beautiful future. It was about my empire, about my hundreds of millions of dollars in assets, about my company, and most terrifyingly, about my life. Most women in my position would have cried hysterically, screamed in rage, or run home to confront their husband and demand an explanation. The pain of being betrayed by the people closest to me certainly tore my feelings apart until they bled. Tears welled in my burning eyes, but in my veins ran the blood of a Vance, the blood of a cold-blooded businesswoman forged in the toughness of the Potter's corporate world. The despair and weakness in my chest only lasted a minute before being quickly replaced by something much fiercer, darker, and more lethal. Absolute fury. I roughly wiped the wet corner of my eye with the back of my hand and straightened up. I took a deep breath until my lungs filled completely, discarding any remnants of fragility, locking the door to my shattered heart. If they thought I was weak prey, they could deceive and destroy. They were dead, wrong. If they wanted to play dirty and snatch my rightful empire away from me, then I would ensure they all burned until consumed in the same hell they had created for me. I looked at Felix. The expression in my eyes, which before was full of fear and confusion, now became as sharp as a dagger, cold and calculating. Felix, I said with a very stable, flat tone of voice that radiated total authority, making the photographer recoil slightly in his chair. Save this photo. Make a backup of all the original files, including the audio ones you mentioned, on an EPATS, external hard drive, the most secure one you have. Do not use cloud storage that can be hacked. And let not a soul know we met today in this room. Felix nodded stiffly, visibly intimidated. Yes, Miss Vance, I'll secure everything. But what are you going to do now? They are very dangerous. I'm going back to the office, I said as I stood up, adjusting my navy blue suit and grabbing my sunglasses and mask from the table. I have an important meeting with my lawyer at 1 to sign some important documents. And it seems, Felix, starting this afternoon I'll have to learn to be an excellent actress to deceive my dear husband. The return journey from Felix's studio to Vance Tower was like crossing two different worlds. Outside my car window, New York City remained the same, busy, noisy, and indifferent, but inside my head, a war had just been declared. The pain in my temples still throbbed constantly, but strangely, the fog of confusion that had clouded my mind for the last month had dissipated without a trace. Everything became crystal clear, so clear it hurt. I parked my black Range Rover in the executive spot. I took a deep breath and put my iron mask back on. I was no longer a fragile and confused wife. I was Ariana Vance, and this was my territory. When the elevator doors opened on the executive floor, Lauren was already standing by her desk, relieved to see me arrive. Miss Vance, thank goodness. You're back, Mr. Arthur called twice, asking if the one meeting was still on, reported Lauren while following me to my office. I set my purse on the table and stared at Lauren. Lauren, lock the door. Lauren looked surprised but asked no questions. She turned the key to the double teak wood doors. Listen to me carefully, Lauren, I said in a low, flat voice. I need you to do something in secret. Leave no digital trace on the main server and tell no one. Not Brittany, not the HR department. I want you to print the entire personal profile, employment history, and portfolio of Sarah, the external financial advisor who joined 2 months ago. Print it on paper. Bring it to my office now. Do not send it via email. Lauren's eyebrows furrowed in confusion, but her professional instinct activated immediately. Understood, ma'am. Anything else? Yes. Prepare a cup of black coffee, very hot. Leave it on a corner of my table before Arthur enters. And if later you hear any strange noise from my office during my meeting with him, don't panic. Play along. The game, ma'am? Just do it, Lauren. 10 minutes later, Lauren returned with a manila folder and a cup of very strong, steaming black coffee. I opened the folder quickly. There was the photo of the woman with glasses and short hair, Sarah, or rather Lana. Her personal data indicated she was born in Singapore, graduated from a renowned university, with an impeccable work history, but with eyes now wide open, I could see the cracks. The format of her work references was too generic. It was a very expensive fake identity, specifically designed to fool my company's verification system. Exactly at 2 p.m., there was a knock on my office door. Arthur entered with that paternal smile that had always made me feel safe. He was over 60 years old now. His hair was white and neat, and he always wore his favorite gray suit. This man used to hold me in his arms when I was little. He was my late father's right-hand man. Realizing that his kind smile was now just a mask to rob me, turned my stomach with disgust. Ariana, dear, I heard from Brittany that you're not feeling well. The truth is, you have a very pale face. Arthur greeted with a tone of fake concern, sitting across from my desk. He set a thick leather folder on the table. I smiled slightly, leaning back in my chair as if I had no strength. Yes, Mr. Arthur. Lately, my head hurts a lot, and I have nausea. Liam says it's just exhaustion from organizing the gala. Ah, Liam is a very attentive husband. You're lucky to have a man as good as him, Ariana. Your father would be proud to see you too, said Arthur without the slightest remorse. Well, I won't take up much of your time so you can go home and rest. Here are some internal documents regarding the company's tax efficiency that you must sign today before the accounting close for next week's gala. Arthur slid the stack of papers toward me. He quickly flipped through some pages, pointing with small yellow sticky arrows where I needed to sign. I picked up my gold pen, pretending to scan the top of the document. My eyes moved rapidly, scanning every paragraph printed in fine print. On the first and second page, everything seemed normal, just standard tax clauses, but when my hand reached the third page, my breath almost stopped. There, hidden very subtly amid complex legal terminology, was a durable power of attorney clause. The paragraph stated that I, Ariana Vance, knowingly and in full possession of my faculties, ceded the right of total management over all assets of the Vance Global Group, the disposition of funds, and the transfer of majority controlling interest to my husband, Liam, if I was deemed no longer capable of leading for medical or other reasons. A perfect trap. No wonder the document had to be signed today, so they would have a week to process its legality before the gala. Once my signature was here, and Patricia's poison paralyzed me completely, Liam would take control of my company legally and legitimately before the law. What's wrong, Ariana? Why are you stopping? Urged Arthur. His aged eyes looked at me with sharp brightness hidden behind his reading glasses. Sign here. I've already reviewed everything thoroughly. You trust me, don't you? I trust the devil from hell more than you, Arthur, I hissed inwardly. I knew I couldn't just refuse to sign. Arthur was very astute. If I refused with the blank excuse of wanting to read it more carefully, he would suspect I already knew his plan. He would alert Liam immediately, and they could use force that very night to get rid of me. I had to buy time without seeming like I was resisting. I took a deep breath and suddenly opened my eyes wide as if excruciating pain had just hit my head. I dropped the pen on the table, gripped my temples with both hands, and began to gasp. Ariana, what's wrong? Arthur looked surprised, half rising from his chair. Mr. Arthur, my head hurts. Terribly. I groaned in a hoarse voice, letting my body slide a bit in the chair. I deliberately moved my right elbow forcefully toward the cup of hot coffee Lauren had prepared. Crash. The cup overturned violently. The boiling black coffee spilled across my desk, soaking directly the stack of original documents Arthur had brought. The white papers instantly stained dark brown. They became drenched and fell apart. The ink ran completely. Oh my God! The documents! Exclaimed Arthur, panic-stricken. He hurriedly pulled back his leather folder. But it was too late. The crucial clause he had hidden was completely wet and tore when he pulled it sharply. His aged face turned red with contained anger, but he struggled to hide it. I ignored the documents, leaned over the table, covered my mouth with my hand, and forced my stomach muscles to contract violently until I really gagged. Wretch. I vomited a bit of stomach acid into the wastebasket under the table, creating a very dramatic and nauseating sound. The office door burst open. Lauren entered with a panicked face that was partially a perfect performance. Miss Vance. Oh my God, ma'am, what's happening? Mr. Arthur, what happened? She looks very sick. The coffee spilled and ruined all the original documents, snapped Arthur, visibly frustrated seeing his work ruined by the carelessness of a sick wife. Lauren, call the driver. I have to go home right now. I groaned, closing my eyes as I leaned weakly on Lauren, who helped me stand up. Mr. Arthur, I am so sorry. Please print the documents again for the day after tomorrow. I promise. I'll sign them when I return to the office. I feel like my head is going to explode. Arthur sighed deeply, clenching his jaw. He looked at the wet papers with a murderous expression. But he had no choice. All right, Ariana. Go home and rest. I'll handle reprinting this. I'll let Liam know to receive you at home. No need, Mr. Arthur. I stopped him with a trembling voice. I don't want to. I bother him. I'll go straight to sleep. Please don't worry him. Leaving the room leaning on Lauren, I smiled cynically inwardly. I had won at least 2 or 3 days before Arthur could re-legalize that damnable document. As soon as I got into the car, I didn't ask Sam, my driver, to take me home. I looked up the number of a secret contact I used to investigate the backgrounds of my business rivals. The number belonged to Roxy Stone, a former intelligence agent who now operated as an elite private detective. Roxy was expensive, but she worked like a ghost. Fast, silent, and leaving no trace. I called her number, using Lauren's phone, so Liam couldn't track me. Stone speaking. A raspy woman's voice answered from the other side, cold and direct. This is Ariana Vance. I need your services right now, and I'll pay triple your highest rate for top priority. I hissed quickly, watching the New York streets, beginning to clog. A small chuckle was heard on the other side. The CEO of Vance Global Group. It's an honor. How can I help you, ma'am? I'm sending you data on a woman named Sarah to your number. She infiltrated as a financial advisor in my company, but her real name is Lana. She supposedly died in a car accident near Mexico City 3 years ago. I want you to find out everything about her, where she lives now, where she got her fake identity, and the flow of funds financing her life. I give you 24 hours. A dead woman coming back to life. Interesting, muttered Roxy. Her tone became enthusiastic. I'll send an initial report this very night to your secret email. Prepare the funds, Miss Vance. The call ended. I leaned back in the car seat, closing my eyes. I had taken the first step. Now, the hardest part awaited me. I had to return to my luxurious house, the den of the wolf that had planned my death, and look again into the face of the man who wanted to kill me while smiling sweetly at him. That night, as I lay in bed in my silk pajamas, Liam entered with a tray with dinner and, of course, a cup of that dark herbal tea with a penetrating earthy smell. You're very pale, honey. Mr. Arthur called me this afternoon. He told me you vomited at the office and spilled coffee over some important documents, Liam said tenderly. He sat on the edge of the bed, stroking my hair with his warm hand. The same hand I saw gripping Lana's in the photo. His touch gave me creepy disgust. But I forced my face muscles to relax and looked at him with a languid expression full of love. Yes, honey, I'm sorry. I was very clumsy. Suddenly, my head started hurting terribly. The day after tomorrow, I'll go back to the office to sign the brine documents. I saw a flash of relief cross Liam's eyes before he smiled calmly. Don't think about work now. Your health comes first. Come on, drink Mom's tea, okay? So the toxin leaves your body and you recover energy. The toxin in my body needs to leave. Yeah, And that toxin is you, I thought, coldly. I took the mug with a trembling hand, pretending to be very weak. I'll drink it slowly. You go shower first, honey. You smell sweaty. I joked quietly, trying to sound natural. Liam gave a little laugh and kissed my forehead. All right, princess. Finish the plong. Thea. As soon as Liam disappeared behind the bathroom door and the sound of water was heard, I jumped out of bed. I ran silently toward the large potted fiddle leaf fig in a corner of my bedroom balcony. I poured all the dark liquid into the soil of the pot, letting it absorb completely, and ran back to bed. I left the empty mug on the nightstand and lay down with my back to the bathroom door. I stared into the darkness of the night through the window. The game had begun, and I would ensure I didn't die before seeing them all on their knees destroyed. At my feet, the morning sunlight filtered through the silk curtains of my room, dazzling me and forcing me to wake up from a very restless sleep. I had barely slept a wink all night. My brain wouldn't stop strategizing while my ears were alert to every breath of Liam sleeping deeply beside me, sharing a bed with the man who planned. My death was a form of psychological torture I had never imagined. I turned. Liam was no longer in bed. The sound of running water was heard in the Pas-Clous bathroom. I got up quickly and walked silently toward the balcony. My gaze immediately went to the terracotta pot where I had poured Patricia's tea the night before. My heart skipped a beat. In just one night, the fresh green leaves of the fiddle leaf fig were now withered and yellowing at the tips. The soil in the pot looked dry and smelled strange. Seeing the plant's reaction, I understood how lethal the poison I had been drinking every night for a month was. Patricia wasn't playing. She was killing me slowly, with just the right dose to make it look like a natural illness. The bathroom door opened. I turned quickly, leaning on the balcony doorframe, while holding my head, feigning pain. Honey, why are you standing there? The morning air isn't good for you being sick. Liam scolded with his characteristic soft voice. He approached while drying his hair with a towel. He wore a light gray suit, looking very handsome and charismatic. Just looking for some fresh air, honey. Inside, I felt a bit overwhelmed. I replied with a hoarse voice, letting Liam guide me back to bed. Rest all day today. Don't think about the office. Oh, by the way, I have an important meeting with some investors uptown at noon, and then I have to supervise a project in Queens. I'll probably be back late tonight, said Liam, stroking my cheek. Investor meeting, or secret date with your undercover wife in her luxury apartment? I hissed inwardly, but outwardly I nodded docilely and smiled weakly. Sure, honey. Be careful on the road. I hope everything goes well. Liam kissed my forehead lengthily and then left the room. As soon as I heard the roar of his car driving away, my sick wife mask vanished. I jumped out of bed, grabbed the secret phone I hid in the deepest drawer of my closet, and turned it on. Exactly at 9 a.m., the phone vibrated. A message from Roxy Stone. Target has left the house. Entry in 10 minutes. Ensure service staff is not on the upstairs floor. I went down immediately to the first floor and asked all the service staff and the driver to go do the monthly grocery shopping at a gourmet supermarket, with the excuse that I needed absolute quiet to rest. Once the house was completely empty, the doorbell rang. I opened the door and found a sturdy-built woman wearing a crisp white shirt, black dress pants, and thick glasses. She carried a medium-sized silver briefcase that looked like medical equipment. At first glance, she seemed like a professional physical therapist. Good morning, Miss Vance. I'm Roxy, she said with the raspy voice I recognized. From the phone. Come in, Roxy, I said quickly, ushering her in and locking the double door. I took her directly to my soundproof home office on the second floor. Once the door was closed, Roxy took off her glasses, abandoning her therapist aura, and looked at me with the piercing gaze of a former intelligence agent. She put her silver briefcase on the table, opened it, and took out a plastic folder with a bundle of documents and several high-resolution photos. Miss Vance, I admit the network you're facing works very cleanly, professionally, but there is no crime that leaves no trace, especially when it involves the bureaucracy of two countries, began Roxy bluntly. She handed me a document in English with a red seal. This is a copy of Lana's death certificate from Mexico. As we suspected, the document is fake, very expensive, made by a high-level document forgery syndicate in the black market. In the eyes of Mexican law, Lana was only reported missing, not dead. Roxy took out another document that made my blood freeze. And this is the most crucial document. I took the paper with trembling hands. It was a marriage certificate issued by the civil authorities of Street Lucia, dated 5 years ago. There, clearly printed, were the names of Liam and Lana, along with their photos and witnesses' signatures. They married in Street Lucia 5 years ago, ma'am, explained Roxy, coldly, and to date, there is no record of divorce in any court. Legally, Lana is Liam's wife. Then, my marriage. My voice trembled. If Liam was still legally married to Lana, how could he marry me officially at City Hall in New York a month ago? Our marriage license was authentic, issued by the state. That's where your lawyer's expertise comes into play, Miss Vance, replied Roxy, showing me a photo of Arthur meeting with a uniformed man in a discreet cafe. Arthur Miller falsified Liam's civil status in the U.S. He bribed officials at City Hall and the State Department, cleaning Liam's entire history to make it look impeccable. Therefore, legally, in the United States, your marriage to Liam is flawed by identity fraud. If taken to family court, your marriage could be declared null and void, ab initio. You were never his wife. That truth hit me like a steel sledgehammer. My marriage was void. I wasn't Liam's wife. From the beginning, I was just prey taken to the altar as an administrative requirement for Liam to enter the circle of heirs to my fortune. My anger boiled again, burning my chest. And the money? Roxy? I asked, containing the rage. How could that bitch enter my company with Sylvia's identity? Roxy smiled sideways, a cynical smile suggesting how rotten my circle of friends was. Your friend Brittany Miller. She was the gateway. I hacked the financial system of the marketing division Brittany leads. For the last 2 months, Brittany has been embezzling company operating funds with the excuse of paying fees to external consultants. That money went to a ghost account in Sarah's name, which was actually held by Lana. The luxurious apartment on the Upper East Side where Lana currently lives was paid fully with your company's money. I gave a bitter laugh. My voice sounded dry and pathetic. My money, my friend, my lawyer, my husband all dancing over me, sucking my blood like hungry leeches. Good work, Roxy. Your performance is worth the cost, I said abruptly. Keep all these original documents in your safe. Let not one be destroyed. Understood. Mom, what is your next step? If you wish, I can take these proofs to the police right now for charges of fraud, document forgery, and attempted murder. No, I refused roundly, looking directly into Roxy's eyes. If we report now, Arthur will use his legal loopholes and my money to free them all. Brittany will slip away, and Patricia surely already has a scapegoat for the murder plan. I don't want them to just go to jail for a few years and then walk free. I want them to be destroyed completely, in full view of everyone. Roxy nodded understandingly and put the documents into her briefcase. I like your style, ma'am. Let me know when you need the final execution. After Roxy left, I called Lauren and asked her to come home with the excuse of bringing me some light work, because I was bored of resting. In less than an hour, Lauren arrived at my office with her laptop and access to the company. Zerfer. Lauren, remember the document I accidentally ruined in front of Arthur yesterday afternoon? I asked as soon as we sat in front of the computer. Of course, ma'am. Mr. Arthur seemed furious. He said it was an urgent document about tax efficiency. It wasn't a tax document, Lauren. It was a power of attorney, an absolute power of attorney. I explained in a deadly tone that made Lauren's eyes widen. If I signed that document, Liam would have full rights over all company assets and my personal wealth if I died, or was declared medically incapacitated. Oh my God. Miss Vance. Lauren covered her mouth with her hand. Her face turned pale. That means Mr. Arthur was deceiving you on purpose. But what for? You are perfectly healthy. I looked at Lauren with a bitter smile. I'm healthy, yes. Until they started poisoning me slowly a month ago. Lauren flinched backward. The chair she was sitting in squeaked. Poisoned? Ma'am, we have to go to the hospital now. We have to report it to the police. Calm down, Lauren. I stopped drinking that poison last night, but they don't know it. And here is where I need your help, I said, grabbing my loyal assistant's shoulder. Help me hack the draft of Arthur's document on the internal company server. I want to know exactly how that clause is worded and what the deadline is. We have to deactivate this trap before it blows up in our faces. Lauren's fingers, which had been trembling, began to find a firm rhythm on the plastinated keyboard. She infiltrated the internal cloud backup of Arthur's firm, which was connected to the company. Our eyes scanned quickly hundreds of lines of text. I found it, ma'am, exclaimed Lauren softly. The document. Oh my God. The validation is scheduled for the night of the company anniversary gala next week. Before the entire board of directors, Mr. Arthur plans to present the power of attorney and requests the seal of a notary public right there with the excuse that your physical condition has deteriorated drastically and immediate transfer of CEO authority is needed. The deadline was set. The countdown of that time bomb advanced towards the day of the gala. If I didn't manage to execute my plan before that night, Arthur would validate the document. As soon as that power of attorney was active, my life would no longer have any value for them. Surely they would kill me that very night, since my fortune would have changed hands completely. Okay, I said coldly, clenching my fists on the table until my knuckles turned white. They want a dramatic spectacle on the night of the gala? Well, I'll give them a spectacle they won't forget in their lives. Lauren, we have 5 days. Contact Felix. We have to set a trap for these parasites at their own game. The laptop screen in front of us emitted a bluish glow illuminating my office, starting to darken. The afternoon sun descended slowly, but the tension in the Prosendend room only increased. After discovering the deadline of the rotten power of attorney, I realized knowing their plan wasn't enough. I had to know who was behind Liam and how deep the roots of this betrayal went in my company. Lauren, I called her, without taking my eyes off the screen. I want you to dig deeper. Don't stop at the draft of Arthur's document. Hack into Arthur's personal financial transaction history and the history of Brittany Miller's accounts. Look for any suspicious money flow in the last 6 months. Lauren swallowed hard. Hacking personal accounts was a high-level privacy violation, but she knew normal rules no longer applied. This will take time and need protective encryption so as not to be tracked by the bank, ma'am. But I'll try. Give me a moment. I leaned back in my chair, watching Lauren's fingers dance agilely over the Plus keyboard. Silence wrapped the room, broken only by the sound of rapid keys and the soft hum of the air conditioning. My brain wouldn't stop reviewing all the sweet memories with the people who were now stabbing me in the back. Arthur, whom I considered a second father, and Brittany, the friend I roomed with in college, and who cried, hugging me at my father's funeral. How well they wore their masks of falsity. 20 minutes of suffocating tension passed. Suddenly, Lauren stopped typing. Her eyes opened wide, looking at the strings of numbers on the screen. Miss Vance, I've passed the first layer, whispered Lauren in a trembling voice. You have to see this. It's absolute madness. I leaned forward. On the laptop screen appeared the movements of an offshore bank account registered in the Cayman Islands. The account was in the name of a shell company, but Lauren had managed to track the real owner. His name was Liam. Look at the money flow, Miss Vance. Lauren pointed at the screen with her trembling finger. 3 months before your wedding, there was a transfer of $500,000 from this secret account of Liam's. The recipient was Arthur Miller. The price Liam paid to buy my trusted lawyer's loyalty and the cost of forging all the state documents. From Liam's certificate of singleness to that deadly power of attorney. Keep going down, Lauren. Who else? My jaw tightened, grinding my teeth to contain the fury. There are periodic transfers every month end for the last year, continued Lauren, scrolling down, each worth $10,000. The recipient is Frank Salgado. My father-in-law? I hissed abruptly. So Frank was also involved. The old man who always seemed dignified and often gave wise advice on marriage turned out to be part of this syndicate. This wasn't just a Playboy scam. It was organized crime, run by an entire family to steal my fortune. Liam, Patricia, Frank, and Lana. All is blank. We're colluding. And this is the last one, ma'am. Lauren's voice softened as if fearing to hurt me. A month before the wedding, a transfer of $200,000. The recipient, Brittany Miller, with the concept of external consulting payment. I closed my eyes tightly. $200,000. Turns out that was the price of a friendship of more than 10 years for Brittany. $200,000 to open the doors of my company to Lana, to turn a blind eye to Liam's infidelity, and to feign concern for my deteriorating health. This thorn stuck deeply in my flesh, tearing my vital organs, but that pain had metamorphosed completely into an anger that froze the clouded blood. Print all these proofs of transfers, Lauren. Let not a single figure escape. You, I ordered coldly. Brittany might think she won the lottery, but I'll ensure those $200,000 are the cost of her funeral in the business world. Her career will die in my hands. Lauren pressed the print button. The printer in the corner of the room began to hum, spitting sheet after sheet of proof of their betrayal. Just as the last sheet came out of the machine, I heard the sound of a car engine I recognized, instantly entering the courtyard. I looked at the wall clock. 6 p.m. Liam is back, I whispered quickly. Adrenaline rushed through my nerves. He said he'd return late, but he's downstairs right now. Lauren, pull your flash drive. Wipe the screen history. Quick! Panic invaded us in the silence. Lauren quickly pulled her storage device, forcibly closed all hacking tabs, and stuffed the stack of transfer papers into Beving, her backpack. I ran to the corner vanity, grabbed face powder and applied it, abruptly to my face and neck to create a pale effect. I messed up my hair, ran to the long sofa in my office, and dropped onto it. I covered myself with a thick blanket and began to regulate my breathing so it sounded choppy and weak. Open the door a bit, Lauren. Pretend you're massaging my temples, I whispered, closing my eyes. Lauren nodded, unlocked my office, and sat on the floor next to the sofa, pretending to massage my temples with a worried face. Indeed, less than a minute later, Liam's footsteps were heard coming up the broad stairs. My office door opened a bit more. Ariana, honey? Called Liam. His voice sounded soft, but now I knew perfectly the cunning hidden behind that tone. I opened my eyes slowly, pretending surprise. Honey, you're back already? I thought. Cough. Cough. Your meeting lasted until late. I faked a dry cough. On purpose. Liam approached, looking sideways at Lauren, who immediately bowed her head, respectfully. Yes, the meeting ended earlier. The investors accepted our proposal. Besides, I couldn't stop thinking about you. I wasn't tranquil, honey. Liam leaned down to kiss my forehead. When his face approached, my smell caught a very strange aroma on his shirt. It wasn't the smell of sweat or his male perfume. It was a very sweet woman's perfume, smelling of vanilla and rose, the same scent I used, but a bit more intense. Of course, he didn't come from an investor meeting. He had just spent time with his legal wife, Lana, in the luxury apartment paid for with my money. Real nausea turned my stomach, but I contained it with all my might. I forced a weak smile. How sweet you are, honey. Sorry to be a bother. My head hurts so much. This afternoon. So I asked Lauren to come bring me some light reports and keep me company. It's okay, Ariana. Your health is most important. Liam stroked my hair with his hand, which felt like a poisonous claw on my skin. Lauren, thanks for accompanying my wife. You can go home now. I'll take care of Miss Vance tonight. Understood, Mr. Liam, responded Lauren obediently. She gathered her backpack, containing all the deadly evidence. With your permission, Miss Vance. Get better. As soon as Lauren left and closed the door, Liam sat on the edge of the prime sofa. You still haven't taken Mom's tea, right? You're very pale. I'll go get it. Downstairs. Okay. Mom left another small thermos with the driver this morning. My heart beat wildly. A new thermos. Patricia didn't tire of poisoning me. Yes, honey, please, I replied, with a very weak voice, as if I barely had life left. Serve it to me in a large mug, please, so I can drink a lot at once. I want to recover fast for the gala next week. Liam smiled. His eyes radiated creepy satisfaction, believing his prey had swallowed the hook completely. Sure, honey. Wait a moment. Liam got up and left the room. I watched his back disappear behind the door with a murderous look. I had proof of the transfers. I knew the mastermind behind the document. Fraud. But to accuse them of attempted murder in an irrefutable way, I needed much stronger proof than a withered fiddle leaf fig or money flows. I needed a direct confession from their own mouths. I remembered Felix. The photographer had mentioned thousands of hours of ambient audio recordings from my wedding. He said there was something there, something that had scared him a lot. I grabbed the secret phone from under the blanket and typed a short message to Felix's number. Meet me tomorrow morning at a neutral place. Bring all your audio recordings. Don't leave a single one behind. The game was about to end. I pressed send just as I heard Liam's footsteps coming back up the stairs. I hid the phone in my pajama pocket, covered myself with the blanket, and prepared to get rid of Patricia's poison for the second time that night. They thought I was agonizing, counting days to my death, without realizing that I was the one counting the seconds to their destruction. That morning, I woke up with a new and tedious routine, pretending I was dying. Last night, as soon as I heard Liam's soft snoring, I slipped to the bathroom and flushed the entire contents of the tea thermos down the toilet, flushing until no trace remained. I didn't dare throw it in the pot again, because the leaves of the fiddle leaf fig on the balcony were already completely yellow and dead. When Liam woke up, I greeted him with a soft groan and a dry, pitiful cough. I applied a bit of white powder to my face before he saw me. You seem to be getting worse, Ariana. You're pale as a ghost, said Liam with an expression of concern worthy of an Oscar. He sat on the edge of the bed, touching my forehead. Let's go to the hospital, okay? No need, honey. I refused weakly, resting my head on his shoulder, an act that required incredible mental strength not to vomit from disgust. I made an appointment at a private acupuncture clinic that Lauren knows for this morning. Lauren says the therapy is very good for improving circulation and relieving nausea. I'll go with her. Liam remained silent for a moment. I knew he was evaluating if acupuncture could discover the presence of poison in my body. But since acupuncture is alternative medicine and not lab analysis, he finally nodded, relieved. Well, if that's what you want, let Sam take you, he insisted. Not necessary, honey. Lauren will pick me up in her car. I want to be quiet, without any staff from the house accompanying me, I replied, looking for an excuse. After ensuring Liam left for the office in his own car, I quickly changed out of pajamas into casual and discreet clothes, a plain black shirt, jeans, sunglasses, and a baseball cap. 15 minutes later, Lauren picked me up at the front door with a regular rental car, ensuring we weren't tracked by the GPS of my company, car, or my driver. We drove through New York traffic toward a secret direction Roxy had provided us. It wasn't a cafeteria or restaurant, but a safe house, disguised as an empty architecture studio in Queens. Roxy had prepared it so we were safe from microphones or surveillance cameras that Arthur's men might have installed. Upon arrival, the house seemed deserted. We entered through the garage door, which opened automatically. In the living room, with few furnishings, there was only a long wooden table and some chairs. Roxy was leaning against the wall, watching the outside through blinds. In one of the chairs sat Felix. The young man looked much tenser than the day before. In front of him, on the table, was a black backpack. Clear. No one followed you, reported Roxy briefly. As soon as Lauren and I entered, she closed the garage door again. I sat directly opposite Felix. Lauren sat next to me, opened her laptop, and got ready. I took off my sunglasses and cap, looking directly at my wedding photographer. We don't have much time, Felix. In 5 days, it's my company anniversary gala, and that is my deadline before my lawyer forcibly validates the power of attorney, I said, going straight to the point. My voice echoed coldly in the Slosted. Empty room. You said you had audio recordings. Take them out. We're going to listen to them now. Felix swallowed hard. He didn't open the backpack immediately. Instead, he looked at me with an indecipherable expression, a mixture of guilt, sadness, and newly gathered courage. Before you see and hear what's on my hard drive, there is something you must know, said Felix hoarsely. His hands were intertwined, tightly on the table. Perhaps you wonder why I didn't tell you as soon as the wedding ended. Why I needed a month to contact you, because you had to review thousands of photos and look for flaws in raw files. Guess impatient. That's one of the reasons. But the main reason is that I wasn't sure if you were a victim or if you were part of Liam's syndicate. I frowned. What do you mean? Felix took a deep breath, as if lifting a weight off himself. My full name is Felix Casey, but that's the name I changed 3 years ago. My family's real last name is Stevens. I am the younger brother of Claire Stevens. Hearing that last name, my brain went to work at full speed. Stevens was the name of a real estate developer family from Connecticut. And Claire, I gasped. Claire? Liam's ex-fiancée, who died 4 years ago. When I started dating Liam, he told me he had been engaged to the daughter of a Connecticut businessman. But the engagement ended tragically because she died, suddenly, of a rare kidney disease that affected her internal organs. That story made me feel great compassion for Liam, considering him an unfortunate man. Exactly, ma'am. Felix smiled bitterly, his eyes reddened. Claire was my only sister. She inherited half of our father's fortune. 4 years ago, she got engaged to Liam. Liam seemed perfect, devoted, and adored my sister. Our family trusted him fully, especially his mother, Patricia, who always behaved like an ex-angle. My body froze. I felt like I was listening to my own life told from another, the person's perspective. But a month before her wedding, Claire's health deteriorated drastically, continued Felix. His voice trembled with contained anger. She often got dizzy, had nausea, coughed up blood, and her internal part Dacian organs began to fail. Doctors said it was a rare autoimmune disease. Liam and his mother were always by her side, feeding her and giving her herbal teas every night with the excuse of alternative treatment. I held my breath. Herbal teas, the same modus operandi. Claire died a week before the wedding. Felix lowered his head. A tear fell on the back of his hand. We were devastated, but the real devastation came a month later. Claire's lawyer appeared suddenly with a power of attorney that apparently my sister had signed in a semi-conscious state, ceding all her assets and her inheritance to Liam. Liam took it all legally. Our family company went bankrupt. My father suffered a heart attack and died shortly after. The atmosphere in the safe house became gelid. Even Lauren covered her mouth with both hands, horrified to hear Liam's crimes, which turned out to have a bloody history. I was studying photography abroad at that time, said Felix, raising his head and looking at me with eyes full of burning thirst for revenge. When I returned, everything was destroyed. The police could do nothing because the part and everything was destroyed. Document was legally valid, and my sister's autopsy only showed common kidney failure caused by natural toxins not detected. Liam disappeared with our money. Then, how did you end up being my wedding photographer? I asked quietly, realizing the scale of danger I faced was much larger than simple asset theft. This was planned serial murder. That was my plan, Miss Vance. For 3 years, built my career as a luxury wedding photographer in New York. I knew Liam would look for new prey, a rich woman, sole heiress, who seemed independent but needed a shoulder to lean on. And when news of your engagement to Liam broke in the Ganjan media, I knew he was repeating his method. I pressured the decoration vendor to lower my fee drastically, in secret, so your event planner would choose me as main photographer. Felix reached into his backpack and pulled out a black, external hard drive, placing it on the table. I infiltrated your wedding not to photograph happy moments. I installed microphones in every corner of the VIP area. I put hidden mics in centerpieces, under ceremony chairs, and riskiest. I've used my contacts with the tailoring vendor to place a wireless lapel microphone in the collar of Liam's suit, disguised as part of normal video recording equipment. I looked at the hard drive as if it were a time bomb about to explode. Liam is a very intelligent psychopath, ma'am. He and his mother never talk about their plans in public or on the phone. But the day of the wedding, amidst the euphoria of his victory for having married you legally, Liam committed a small error. Felix moved the hard drive closer to Lauren's laptop. Before the ceremony began, Liam asked for 15 minutes to pray alone with his mother in the private dressing room. The room was soundproofed and locked from inside. He thought no, one could hear him. He forgot that the lapel microphone in his suit collar still hadn't been deactivated from my control panel. My blood boiled. The proof was there. A direct confession from the very mouth. Lauren, connect the hard drive, I ordered firmly. My hands tightened on the table. Lauren took the hard drive and connected it to the laptop port. A large folder appeared on the screen. Felix pointed to an audio file in WAV format, lasting 20 minutes. It's this file, Miss Vance. I needed a whole month to clean background noise with forensic software so their conversation could be heard clearly. As soon as I heard it yesterday, I called you immediately because I knew your life had numbered days. Roxy approached from the window, positioning herself behind my chair to listen too. All eyes were fixed on Lauren's laptop. Screen. Play. Lauren, I said, arming myself with courage to hear the voices of people who had planned my death. Lauren pressed the play button. There was a moment of silence, just rustling fabric, the sound of Liam's suit moving. Then, from the laptop speakers, the sound of slow footsteps was heard, followed by the click of a door closing, and then a woman's voice broke the silence. A voice I knew very well, soft, calm, and full of authority. Patricia's voice. Make sure your smile is perfect today, Liam. Our prey this time is much bigger than Claire. You can't commit a single error in front of Ariana. I closed my eyes. This confrontation had just crossed the point of no return, heading into deepest darkness. The equator of my game had begun. Now, I was ready to counterattack. Patricia's voice, which normally sounded as soft as silk when praying or dedicating kind words to me, now flowed from the laptop speakers with a tone as cold as ice and sharp as a razor. Her first sentence, referring to me as a much bigger prey than Claire, shattered the remains of my sanity. However, I didn't stop the recording. I forced myself to sit upright, staring at the screen unblinkingly, listening to every word coming from the mouth of that demon in human form. In the recording, Liam's long sigh was heard. His tone of voice changed drastically. It was no longer the reassuring and secure baritone. Liam's voice now sounded submissive, obedient, almost like a child reporting to his superior. I get it, Mother. Lana is already safe in her new apartment. She complains a bit because she has to keep wearing glasses and a wig to go to Ariana's office, but she won't be reckless. She's looking forward to this ending, so we can live together openly, replied Liam. A disdainful tongue click was heard from Patricia. Tell that stupid girl to shut up and have patience. Don't let her clumsiness ruin a plan I built for 2 years. After you sign that null marriage license before the officiant in a bit, Ariana will officially become our cash cow. Arthur has already arranged everything behind the scenes. The power of attorney will activate just on the proms day of her company gala, when the entire board of directors is gathered. Thank goodness. Honestly, I'm sick of having to pretend I love her every day. Mother is too workaholic and rigid, complained Liam, followed by a cynical laugh. And the poison, Mother? Are you going to use the same deadly plant extract we gave Claire? The atmosphere in the safe house froze. Lauren covered her mouth to contain a sob of horror, while Felix clenched his fists until his knuckles turned white. I felt my eyes burn, but not a tear fell. My anger had burned my lacrimal glands. Of course, replied Patricia in the recording with a tone of pride for her in work. But this time I have to adjust the dose. We can't allow her to die. Suddenly, before the power of attorney activates, we need exactly 1 month for her body to weaken slowly. This poison will corrode her internal organs without being detected in standard blood analysis, making it look like chronic fatigue or a complication of a hereditary disease from her late mother. The sound of water pouring from a thermos into a mug was heard. It will be me who prepares these poisonous leaves with the herbal tea every dawn, continued Patricia in authoritarian tone. You just have to ensure that bitch drinks it all every night before sleeping. Remember, Liam, don't let her go to a specialist doctor or lab. If necessary, manipulate her mind. Make her feel it's just exhaustion, and ensure you always look at her with love while she suffers. Rich and lonely. Women are always stupid when love blinds them. Of course, Mother. I am your best actor. No, complete your mission. After she dies, all Vance Global Group assets will fall into your hands. We'll be able to give a small part to Arthur, Frank, and that traitor Brittany as payment for their silence. The rest, that business empire, will be our family's forever. There was a knock on the dressing room door from outside. A wedding staff member called Liam. The audio recording ended with Liam's voice, returning to being kind and soft. Yes, coming out now. The 20-minute audio clip ended, leaving dense silence in the room, only broken by the sound of our breathing. The brain, behind all the fraud, document manipulation, and attempted murder, wasn't Liam. Liam was just the pretty face used as puppet. The director and mastermind was Patricia, the old woman who always dressed modestly, whose hands never let go of a rosary, and who always talked about karma and sin. She was the real monster. Miss Vance. Lauren broke the silence with trembling voice, looking at me with face full of tears. We have to flee. Ma'am, let's take this proof to the Blanc embassy or the FBI right now. They are psychopaths. You can't go back to that house. Your life is at stake. I raised my face slowly, took deep breath, filling lungs with cold room air, and exhaled slowly. The panic I had felt evaporated completely. The recording had given me incredible clarity. "No one is going to flee, Lauren," I said with voice flat and cold as ice, without emotion. I looked at each person in room. If I run to police now, Arthur will bribe authorities easily and manipulate facts. He has all regulatory documents of my company. If they feel threatened, they will execute me, immediately or worse, destroy my father's company before I can save it. "Then, what is your plan, ma'am?" asked Felix, looking at me with renewed hope. "I will do whatever, ma'am, as long as they are destroyed, as long as my sister's death is avenged." I turned toward Roxy, the former intelligence agent who had been listening, expressionless, now looked at me with clear respect in eyes. "Roxy, you said you had contacts in police that Arthur's money can't buy, right?" "I have some high-ranking acquaintances in FBI white-collar division who hate corrupt lawyers like Arthur. They move under radar," responded Roxy promptly. "Good." I nodded. "I want you to prepare intervention team for that night. Friday at 10, sharp in Vance Tower Ballroom during company anniversary gala. But ensure they don't enter until I give signal. I don't want normal arrest. I want arrest with proof. Witnessed live by entire board of directors, investors, and media." Roxy smiled sideways. "National scale public scandal. I like it. I'll organize everything, ma'am." Then I addressed Felix. "Felix, I need your editing skills. Combine photo of Lana's reflection, Street Lucia, marriage certificate, transfers to Arthur, Frank, and Brittany. And most important, edit audio of Patricia's voice to create short, concise, lethal video presentation. There can be no technical failure. Presentation will be ready in 2 days, Miss Vance." "I'll ensure her voice resonates throughout hall," replied Felix firmly. "And how will presentation project on main screen without operator noticing, ma'am?" asked Lauren anxiously. "Event is controlled by Brittany's team. Surely she will review all presentation files before." I smiled slightly at my assistant. "That is your task, Lauren. You are my right hand. During event, you have to sneak Felix into audiovisual control room, lock door from inside, and ensure Felix has full control of main projector just before I go upstage for document signing." Lauren swallowed hard, but expression of fear was replaced slowly by iron. "Determination. Understood, Miss Vance. I'll ensure control room is secured." 5 days, I murmured, looking at now black laptop screen. "We have 5 days to play our roles. From this moment, there cannot be slightest mistake. We are dancing on nest of vipers." The meeting at Safe House ended an hour. We dispersed separately to not raise suspicions. Lauren dropped me at Midtown Mall. From there, I deliberately went down and ordered normal taxi to return home, creating alibi that I just left acupuncture clinic. During journey back, strengthened my mind. Knowing husband and mother-in-law want to kill you is two thing, but having to return to their lair and feign loving them after hearing own murder plan from mouths. That required level of sociopathy matching theirs. Taxi stopped in front of iron gate of luxurious house. Went down with tired step, putting back on mask of gravely ill woman. Dragged feet on purpose, shoulders stooped weakly. As soon as opened front door, light laughter received me from living room. My heart beat faster. Recognized that laugh. On living room, sofa sat Liam. And in front of him, middle-aged woman with elegant, light brown, silk caftan, scarf well-placed, and wooden rosary around wrist. Patricia was in. My house. Oh, my daughter, you're back. Patricia greeted me with characteristic soft voice, left teacup, got up, and extended arms to receive me. Face radiated maternal warmth so sincere. Remembering woman's voice in, recording, voice explaining precisely how going to destroy internal organs, gave goosebumps. Felt strong, instinctive impulse strangle right then, but contained self. I am Ariana Vance. I won't lose this game. Forced, weak smile, letting Patricia hug. Smell of jasmine perfume and baby oil body. Seemed smell of shroud. Patricia, what surprise seeing you here at these hours. Didn't notify me, said hoarse voice, pretending return hug warm. Patricia stroked back gently. Wanted come see, daughter? Liam told pale and vomited often. Was very worried. How was acupuncture? Served something? Something Patricia coughing slightly on. Purpose. But continue nausea and dizziness. Perhaps need rest lot. Yes. Need. Absolute rest, intervened Liam, approaching taking arms help walk. No. Ariana? Mom came from outskirts on purpose prepare tea herself today. Says Mix. Must drink very hot, so poison body leaves fast. Looked Liam and Patricia. Both smiled. Smile so charming, convincing, perfect family. Many thanks. Patricia. Sorry bother, said soft voice. Not any bother my own daughter, replied, Patricia stroking cheek. Tonight, I bring myself room. Must finish. In front of me. Okay. So I stay calm. Challenge thrown. Tonight, couldn't throw poison sink. Secret. Own creator poison ensure prey swallow deadly liquid last drop. Of course, mother, responded, looking directly. Patricia eyes dedicating falsest. Smile entire life. Drink anything you give. Sun sank slowly horizon. Dying. New York sky somber orange and gray tone. Inside master bedroom, atmosphere became increasingly tense tick-tock clock. Tonight. First test. Couldn't throw poisonous. Teapot sink. Patricia herself watch while drank. Sat leaning headboard bed. Mind spun fast speed, looking way out. If refused drink. Patricia suspect. Already knew everything. If drank real, cup full concentrated poison. Dose. Surely increased. Could paralyze motor nerves or damage kidneys permanently. Before night gala. Exactly 10 night. Knocked gently door. Ariana. Daughter. Can. Pass. Voice soft Patricia. Arrived other side. Pass, Patricia. Door open. Responded nasal voice, accommodating under thick duvet. Door opened. Patricia. Entered perfect maternal smile. Followed Liam. Hands Patricia. Silver tray. Ceramic cup. Full liquid dark thick. Still steaming. Smell wet earth roots invaded. Room instantly. Only smelling, stomach reacted nausea. Not suggestion. Body. Rejected. Naturally. Poison been damaging last month, and moment crazy desperate. Idea crossed mind. Here tea, honey. Prepared special for you with dose stronger. Roots so past dizziness, said Patricia. Sat edge bed, bringing cup closer. Eyes, surrounded fine wrinkles, looked intently, letting escape. Thanks, Patricia. murmured weakly, hand trembling, which not wholly acting, since really nervous. Took cup, looked Liam, standing next mother. He nodded supportive smile. Drink. Honey, seemed say eyes. If didn't know truth, think husband most affectionate. World. Brought edge cup lips. Liquid dark touched tongue. Tasted, incredibly. Bitter, astringent, left strong metallic aftertaste. Forced swallow first sip. Liquid hot went down burning throat. Patricia smiled satisfied. Come on, finish. Let remain not drop. Took second sip. Retained moment throat instead swallowing. Provoked own reflex nausea. Contracting abdominal muscles, all might blocking. Respiration. Reaction body much more dramatic than planned. Stomach. Already. Stirred stress all day. Rejected violently. Wretch. Let cup fall lap. Sacrificing. Expensive silk duvet stained black instantly. Covered mouth both hands. Body. Convulsed. Ariana. What's wrong? Exclaimed Liam. Surprised. Stepping back step. When cup spilled. Not responded. Threw blanket abruptly. Jumped bed ran. Staggering toward bathroom. Opened door blow. Kneeled front marble toilet let. Entire stomach empty. Vomited everything. Poisonous tea just drank. Remains. Previous night all food. Coughed stomach acid until throat burned tears. Real ran. Cheeks. Body trembled violently. Threshold bathroom. Patricia and Liam watched. Could see reflections mirror sink. Expression panic face Liam faded bit. Replaced wrinkle confusion. However, Patricia, corner eye, saw look eyes bright. Satisfaction. Smile fine creepy drew lips. Few seconds before hid quickly feigned. Panic. For Patricia. Rejection drink. Vomit. Violent proof. Poison destroyed. Successfully walls. Stomach digestive system. Believed body stage. Final rejection. Liquid. God. Ariana. Patricia approached quickly, rubbing nape sweaty gently. All ready, daughter. Get everything out. Not hold back. Washed, face. Sink hands. Trembling then looked both expression pleading. Sorry, Patricia Liam. Tea. Spilled. Stomach rejects everything. Hurts. Lot. Whispered. Sobs. Fake. Made sound. Natural possible. Happens nothing, honey. Happens nothing. Liam surrounded arm. Taking bathroom bed, while called employee clean duvet. Have drink more tonight. Body needs adapt. Yes, daughter. Intervened Patricia stroking arm. Important. Essence entered bit. Tomorrow try again. Okay, now rest. That night managed. Survive deadly dose. 3 days following were test incredible resistance. Physical, mental. Time bomb time. Advancing relentlessly night anniversary gala. Convince Liam Patricia dying. Began fast extreme secret. Through most food brought plank. Room bags. Plastic black. Lauren later took house. Used special makeup, powders, palest face, neck, shadow, eyes, brown, grayish, applied subtly under eyes, create illusion sockets sunk in dark circles. Point culminating, 2 days before event, when let fall purpose floor bathroom, bruising knees then screamed asking help. When Liam broke door, feigned legs lost strength stand. Legs, honey, feel legs, moaned clinging shirt crying inconsolably. Same day, Liam brought wheelchair. Home, seemed very sad front. When turned talk Arthur phone, could see shoulders, trembling, containing laugh victory. Believed fortune already reach hand. Afternoon, Arthur came visit. Didn't come alone. But Brittany, friend Viper, always put face concern. God, Ariana, how ended wheelchair? Exclaimed Brittany, entering office ground floor. Hugged immediately. Tears fell. Performance, impeccable. Only temporary. Brit, doctor, says nervous system, weakened exhaustion, chronic. Responded voice very weak, returning hug while imagining transfer. $200,000 received husband. Enjoy tears fake, Brittany. Because day after, tomorrow cry blood. Thought. Arthur cleared throat sitting opposite. Took folder. Leather brown briefcase. Same destroyed coffee days ago. Ariana, very worried. State, said Arthur, tone paternal, nauseating. But no, company must continue. Running, given condition impossibilitates direct. This power attorney must, validated immediately. Already reprinting. Please, sign now so can take notary. Liam stood next wheelchair, putting hand shoulder. Do good company, honey. Promise care legacy until recover. Lowered view document. Clause. Same. Seed. Assets power Liam absolute way. Lifted pen, gold hand right, made tremble. Deliberately. Brought tip pen paper. Everyone room looked intently. Tip pen. Liam held breath. Arthur leaned forward. Brittany smiled slightly corner. Just ink. Point touch paper. Dropped pen. Rolled floor. Ah. Complained. Frustrated, grabbing. Hand, right, left. Looked Arthur, eyes teary. Mr. Arthur, hand. Have cramp terrible. Hand. Not even hold pen. Face Arthur tense, containing anger point bursting. Ariana. Only have scribble name. Let help hold hand. No. Mr. Arthur. Refused. Tone slightly high, later converted sob. Raised view. Liam. Honey. Want sign. Hidden. Home. Condition lamentable. Vance Group legacy father. And want then. Honey? Asked Liam. Voice starting sound impatient. 2 days. Gala anniversary. Company said voice. Hoarse firm. Bring notary event, Mr. Arthur. Attend. Wheelchair. Want sign power attorney stage main before entire board directors. Shareholders media. Want seed. Leadership. Husband. Honor. Proof. Love. Total trust. Him. Want world. No Liam CEO legitimate simple substitute secret. Room. Remained silence. Liam stunned. Arthur Brittany looked. What just offered? Scenario legitimation public never imagined. Ego con man narcissistic like Liam, receiving company, multimillionaire, before thousands' eyes elite New York orgasm. Power couldn't refuse. Idea very bold. Ariana. But have strength attend? Asked. Liam, eyes now shown greed couldn't hide. Take medicine able stage, honey. Only 10 minutes. After, promise rest completely leave everything. Responded, grabbing hand Liam. Liam looked. Arthur nodded slowly. Arthur sighed, then smiled, resigned. All right, Ariana. If want, handle notary public stage 10 night. B. Night historical company. Yes, Mr. Arthur, whispered lowering head hide smile. Cold extended lips. Very historical. That night, while Liam slept side, took phone secret last time. Send group Lauren, Felix, Roxy. Deadline fixed. Stage. Ready. All enemies gather single point. Tomorrow night attack. Secure positions. Message received, answer immediate. Understood, ma'am. 3. Matter seconds. Turned off phone, looked ceiling, dark room. Countdown, death ended. Tomorrow night. Arrive, end. Beginning, eternal destruction. That night drizzle fell, New York, reflecting brightness, light city, wet asphalt. However, inside grand ballroom, Vance Tower, magnificence, warmth dominated everything. Chandeliers, giant hung, ceiling, projecting light golden throughout room. Hundreds guests, high level, board directors, main shareholders, business partners, dozens media attended, dressed best tuxedos, evening dresses. Celebration 50 anniversary, Vance Global. Group, same time, night husband, Liam. Planned snatch throne forever. Arrived. Lobby hall, wheelchair, pushed Liam. Appearance, night masterpiece, falsehood. War. Elegant dress, long black velvet, contrasted face. Makeup seem extremely pale. Accented, deliberately dark circles, painted lips, color nude seem lifeless. Hands. Trembled lap, grabbing shawl silk. You beautiful, honey. Hold bit more, whispered Liam ear, while continued pushing wheelchair through crowd. All glances turned towards us. Heard murmurs, compassion, whispers, sympathy. Guests seeing. Formidable CEO, now wheelchair accompanied husband, seemed loyal, affectionate. First row seats, VIP. Parasites already gathered, waiting faces, victorious. Was Arthur, lawyer face kind. Seated next, notary hired. Side, Frank, father-in-law. Night wore expensive suit, gray, doubt bought money bribe. Then Brittany, friend, striking dress red, looking fake tears eyes. Not far them seated Sarah, financial advisor. Wore dress dark, glasses frame fine, trying pass unnoticed. Of course. New face behind glasses, Lana. Middle them seated queen demon Patricia. Wore caftan, silk white. Made seem incredibly pure, radiant. Seeing approach, rose, hugged. My poor child, said Patricia, voice soft, raising voice purpose guests, nearby here. So proud night, wife extraordinary. Lowered head, returning hug, weakly. Enjoy stage tonight, mother. Last thought coldly. When sat zone VIP, eyes scanned room, searching assistant. Lauren standing large column holding. Walkie. Looked briefly, then nodded slightly. Signal. Felix introduced. Successfully locked control room, audiovisual mezzanine. Taking control projector. System sound. Entire hall. First hour event, past great pomp. Speeches opening, cutting cake. Giant projection. Video documentary history. Vance Group. Then moment, enemies long waited. Presenter came, stage expressions serious. Ladies, gentlemen, night only celebrate past, looking towards future, Vance Global Group. Perhaps, no, dear CEO, Mrs. Ariana Vance. Passing test health. Therefore, night take, place ceremony, transfer leadership, power, absolute presence, notary, Mrs. Vance. Husband, Mr. Liam Salgado. Thunderous applause rang throughout hall. Liam smiled, humbly, bowing slightly audience, then grabbed handles wheelchair. Pushed toward stage main ramp. Arthur notary followed, carrying folder leather, deadly power. Attorney tray, pen, gold. Lights main went off. Remained spotlight bright. Illuminated 4 center stage. Thousands eyes watched. Flashes. Cameras. Journalists exploded rows back. Liam took microphone. Thanks, everyone. Ladies, gentlemen. Voice trembled emotion, interpreting role brilliance. Night difficult. Me. See wife love wheelchair consumed disease breaks heart. But Ariana woman, strong. Asked here, assume burden company, focus recovery. Promise before all, guard legacy life. Applause, roared again. Patricia. Zone, VIP, seemed dry tear, handkerchief. Brittany smiled pride. Arthur opened folder leather, placed small, table front. Go ahead, Ariana, sign here, whispered Arthur kindly. Notary held, pen gold. Liam knelt side, looking expression victory could hide. Eyes, already, dead. Company already his. Took pen gold hand right. Everyone held breath, waiting stroke ink paper, but instead direct pen paper, raised hand hit tip pen, against microphone front. Tap, tap, tap. Sound blows resonated force. Entire hall, stopping applause whispers. Silence, absolute. Looked Liam, still kneeling, sighed. Smile lips faded bit, replaced wrinkle confusion. Movement slow, firm, through pen floor stage. Jingling sounded incredibly loud midst silence. Then, grabbed armrests, wheelchair. Before thousands guests. Flashes. Cameras. Faces. Astonished enemies. Stood up. Not legs trembling. Not back stooped. Straightened. Completely straight. Lifting chin. Took pocket dress wipe. Wet antiseptic. Movement. Quick, abrupt, cleaned lips, zone below eyes. Lipstick pale makeup, pitiful. Disappeared, revealing true face. Cold, sharp, full authority, absolute. Murmurs. Surprise screams choked burst guests. Flashes. Cameras became frenetic. Ariana, what doing? Not cured, whispered Liam. Grip panic. Rising hurriedly grab arm, pushed hand force staggered backward. Snatched microphone stand. Good evening, everyone. Voice sounded firm, clear, resonant, destroying instantly illusion. Wife, weak, dying. Husband right. Night. Difficult historical. Not because seating, company. Because night going clean. Vance Group parasites. Leeches. Assassins. Tried snatch away. Face Liam pale wax. Jaw dropped. Arthur froze. Eyes opened. Wide. Terrified. Down. Patricia rose half chair. Grabbing rosary force knuckles. White. Start. Ordered aloud toward room control up. Instantly. Screen giant. Behind stage lit up. Logo anniversary. Disappeared. Replaced. Photo high. Resolution. Photo reflection. Mirror day wedding. Screen 12M wide. Saw clearly. Liam looking passionately while grabbing hand woman dress maroon. Hall exploded. Chaos. Murmurs. Guests became buzz. Media rushed towards stage photograph screen. As C-screen, said coldly. Pointing image, then pointing directly Lana seated. Row VIP. Man just promised. Guard. Legacy life. Caught moment. Intimacy day. Wedding. Know who woman holding hand? New financial advisor company says name. Sarah. Thousands pairs eyes turned instantly row. VIP. Focusing woman glasses. Lana seemed terrified. Lowered head. Tried cover face bag. Cameras focused. Without mercy. But Tapadera continued, voice rumbling Hall. True name Lana, relative Liam, supposedly died 3 years ago abroad. Screen behind changed, showing 2 documents. Side. Certificate death. Fake Lana. Certificate marriage. Authentic Liam Lana Street Lucia. Remain husband, wife, legally country neighboring, shouted sharply. Marriage month ago cover fraud. Massive identity, enter line. Inheritance. Ariana. Enough. Turn off screen. Slander, shouted Liam, losing control. Face handsome become wild. Turn towards staff event. Turn off. Projector right now. Staff confused. Door control room. Upstairs. Locked inside. Cannot turn off, Liam. Truth cannot silenced. Mocked. But wait. Didn't work. Alone, right? Screen giant changed again. This time, showing table transfers. Account offshore, Liam. Complete fantastic sums, names, recipients circled red. Screenproof payments, traders. Room voice went up octave. Finger pointed. Arthur, now sweating profusely, trembling. $500,000. Arthur Miller. Lawyer forged. Certificate. Singleness. Husband laid trap, power attorney deadly. $10,000 month. Honorable father-in-law. Frank Salgado. $200,000 best friend. Brittany Miller. First row. Brittany screamed hysterically. Several journalists surrounded. Microphones. Covered face trying flee. Crowd infuriated, blocked path. Frank. Salgado lowered head, defeated. Face ancient, reddened, shame unbearable. All lies. Crazy. Wife hallucinating medications. Shouted Liam desperately, another. Microphone trying gain sympathy. Below stage. Patricia finally reacted. Mask. Angel shattered. Face wrinkled, contracted hatred. Pointed. Bitch insolent. Dare. Defame family public? Down. Looked directly Patricia. Eyes emitted fire, revenge. Burned chest days. Slander, said voice. Low microphone. Sharp enough silence. Screams Patricia. Let listen ourselves slander. Made last signal room control. Screen turned black. Showing wave audio speakers hall exploded, recording. Dressing room day wedding. Voice Liam heard clearly. And poison. Mother. Going. Use same extract plant. Deadly gave Claire. Hall remained silence. Sepulchral. Air. Sucked. All guests. Petrified, listening horror. Then voice cold, cruel Patricia. Rumbled. Of course, poison corrode internal organs without detected. After dies, all assets Vance Group fall hands. As soon finished recording, unleashed true chaos. Board directors shouted rage. Guests backed terrified. Looking family. Liam monsters. Flashes cameras ceased, transmitting live fall family assassins. Liam, grip panic, looked way out. Jumped stage trying, pull Lana Patricia escape. Door emergency. Arthur Frank also ran. Just hand. Liam touched doorknob. Emergency. Entrance main hall derided force. Police. No move. Close exits. Dozens agents, police, plainclothes, uniformed. Led Roxy, showing badge FBI. Burst. Room. Moved quickly, tactical. Seconds. Liam knocked floor 2 agents. Hands. Handcuffed back. Lana screamed, handcuffs, metal closed wrists. Arthur. Frank. Surrendered resistance. Brittany cried, screams floor, begging mercy. And Patricia, old woman. Resisted arrest. struggled hysterically, insulting police. Words coarse, never imagined, here mouth devout. Let go. Bitch, deserved, die. Stole, son. Let go, shouted Patricia, face reddened. Two agents dragged force. From stage, remained standing, upright, under single spotlight. Let chaos arrests, screams, indignation guests, flashes cameras, dance around, took deep breath, feeling lungs fill air freedom. Poison failed kill, spectacle night destroyed. Lives root, curtain scenario destruction fallen. Officially, queen recovered, kingdom, chaos. Grand ballroom began calm gradually. Sound sirens police outside. Building pierced glass soundproofed. Signaling reinforcements arrived secure. Zone, inside. Lights main turned completely, bearing wrought hidden darkness. Descended steps. Stage pace. Slow, majestic. No wheelchair body stooped. Heels resonated against floor marble, making guests apart automatically let pass. Glances changed compassion. Admiration, mixed fear. Corner hall, near door. Emergency, team police led Roxy gathered traitors. All hands handcuffed back. Approached. Roxy looked made sign men give space. Stopped front Liam. Man last. 2 years considered port safe. Man kissed forehead night sleep. Now seemed pathetic. Elegant tuxedo wrinkled. Face, handsome, soaked sweat, cold tears. Panic. Hair, always impeccable. Now disheveled covering part eyes. Seeing standing. Imposing front. Liam knelt. Ariana. Ariana. Listen. Voice trembled. Pleading. Face raised toward. Trap. Mother Arthur forced due. Swear. Ariana. Time. Started. Love real. Please. Withdraw complaint. Start again. Husband. Ariana. Looked. Expression empty. Cold ice. Disgusting. Even last seconds destruction. Tried use. Word. Love. Weapon. You husband. Liam. Said voice low. Voice sharp enough destroy. Pride. Marriage void first second. Thanks cunning lawyer. Stranger crept house. Love. Kind love gives poison wife night smile. Ariana please. Not let finish. Turned Lana. Woman using name Sarah. Kept head down. Crying sobs shook body. Daring look. Can keep husband. Lana. Told disdain. Perfect couple. Both. Parasites. Pity enjoy honeymoon bars. Then past Arthur. Looked away ashamed. Father-in-law frank. Look floor lost gaze. Eyes fixed figure. Dragging near. Tables. VIP. Brittany friend. Seeing approach. Brittany dragged toward. Tried. Grab edge. Dress velvet hands handcuffed. Crying screams makeup ran completely. Ariana! Ariana! Forgive error! Ariana! Shouted hysterically, tears wetting. Floor. Needed money pay debts family. Liam kept insisting forced. Ariana. Been friends 10 years. Remember college? Remember cared sick mononucleosis? Help, Ariana. Don't let him prison. Career ruined. Pulled dress reach abruptly. Looking, nausea, uncontrollable. Friendship 10 years. Sold life, $200,000, replied. Voice, trembled sadness, anger boiling again. Debt's family excuse accomplice assassin. Brittany, open door mistress. Smiled, watched, suffer poison. Friend, Enemy, despicable had. Career died night. Brittany sobbed, sinking face floor marble, murmuring apologies, nothing. Last step led confront mastermind nightmare. Unlike others, Patricia not cry, kneel, beg forgiveness. Standing, upright, flanked, 2 agents, police, looked, hatred burning, want, skin alive, scarf twisted, kept chin up, think one, girl arrogant, hissed Patricia spitting floor shoes, fortune loan, God, have peace, live solitude fear, destroyed husband, approached faces inches, looked directly eyes dark, searching trace humanity, found nothing rot, destroyed husband, Patricia whispered face, destroyed organization, criminal, no, destruction night just revenge. Patricia frowned. Expression, confusion, crossed face wrinkled. Mean bitch? Smiled fine deadly. Video audio projected. Night result. Hard work photographer, wedding. Young, intelligent last month risked. Life infiltrate record vile words. Photographer Patricia seemed confused. Name, Felix, said slowly, ensuring syllable heard clearly ears. Nickname, full name, Felix Stevens. Brother younger, Claire Stevens. Girl, Innocent, Connecticut. Killed, slowly, 4 years ago extract plant poisonous. Suddenly, blood seemed drain face. Patricia. Eyes opened wide, lips trembled. Mask arrogance shattered. Fear, absolute finally reflected eyes began fill tears. Karma past, believed, buried. Together body Claire, Rose devour fangs sharp. Claire sends regards. Patricia, whispered final blow. Hope, enjoy rest life, rotting cell isolation. Stepped back, turned Roxy. Take sight, Roxy. Ensure none obtain benefit bail. Pleasure, miss. Vance. Responded. Roxy smile. Cynical. Sign team. Come, Vans. Move. Turned without. Looking back, Liam shouted name another. Brittany moaned inconsolably. Patricia remained paralyzed, crazy, torn soul. Doors ballroom closed, taking Demon's life, forever. Returned center hall. Lauren approached quickly, handed new microphone. Eyes red, crying happiness. Nodded firmly. Mezzanine saw Felix leaning railing. Glass. Saluted 2 fingers. Smile relief. Sincere. Finally appeared. Face. Justice. Sister. Raised microphone, looking thousands guests remained silence, shock. Ladies, gentlemen. Voice broke silence, calm, full authority. Apologize. Inconvenience drama night, witness. Vance Group excised cancer, tried, corrode. Within. Power attorney created, declared null void. Company safe, investments, safe eye, Ariana Vance. Here CEO legitimate, completely healthy, ready take. Company high ever. Thunderous applause burst. Louder, sincere, full, profound, respect. Flashes burst again, recording victory. Night victim, pathetic fraud. Queen won war, recovered kingdom. 6 months later, sunlight morning entered. Enormous Windows office renovated. Top floor Vance Tower. Changed entire interior. Furniture Liam Arthur touched, discarded, replaced. Wanted. Place free. Shadows. Sat executive chair, savoring espresso. Aroma coffee, fresh calmed mind. No herbal teas, poisonous. Dizziness, tortuous. Nausea. Exhausting. Body, recovered 100%. Doctor specialist, cleaned completely. Remains toxins, blood, skin. Recovered brightness, healthy weight, returned normal. Knocked door office. Lauren, entered. Wore impeccable suit executive. Night gala ascended immediately deputy. Director operations. Loyalty intelligence proved price. Good morning, Miss Vance, greeted Lauren, smile radiant, leaving stacked documents table. Report first. Quarter-ready growth increased 15%. Stocks remain stable above expectations. Market. Good work, Lauren. Exceptional. Always, responded Smile Pride. News, Roxy. Today? Yes, ma'am. Roxy, Chief Security Corporate, sent report court. Lauren, took iPad read content. Sentence dictated morning. Patricia condemned prison. Permanent reviewable murder premeditation. Claire Stevens attempted murder. Against. Nodded slowly. Justice never sleeps. Others asked. Liam Lana, condemned 20 years prison fraud, embezzlement funds, complicity attempted murder. Arthur Frank received 15 years assets confiscated. State return funds embezzled. Brittany. Lauren's silent moment. Face showed hint compassion. Quickly hid. Brittany sentenced 12 years prison. Roxy says stopped crying. Trial fainted. Let. Cry. Cut coldly. 12 years repent sold friend. Felix, ma'am, continued Lauren, changing subject lighten mood. New studio. Midtown, New York. Opens week. Sent. Invitation VIP. Says thanks sponsorship Vance Group. Organize exhibition. Photographic solo dedicated late sister. Smiled widely hearing name. Felix. Send. Wreath Flowers largest order opening studio. Lauren. Clear agenda week. Attend. Fail. Understood, Miss Vance? Lauren gathered papers. Bowed. Retired. Alone again. Rose chair approached wall glass. Contemplating dense extension New York feet. Journey traveled last 6 months seemed another life. Deep wound realizing, happiness believed illusion designed kill. Frame golden marriage shattered. Frame broke. Found true image. Crumbled. Lies. Iron forged furnace. Maximum. Temperature. Left hellsword sharper. Stronger. Invincible. Yeah,